Welcome to the Hero Network, where everyone's a hero. I'm your host Vega, and we've got quite a jam-packed episode for you today. You see, we question which of our beloved Ninja Turtles is still alive, consider taking a pill for 5 minutes of superpowers, discuss the idea of a samurai rabbit, and relive some of our, or my, favorite moments in the X-Men movies. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive right in. It seems the Turtles are in for a lot of trouble. You see, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, is a 5-issue miniseries taking the Turtles in a half shell, or at least one of them, 2 decades into the future. Set in the year 2040, it imagines a world in which only one of our favorite Turtles has survived and is using his brother's weapons and adopted skills to continue fighting crime alone. The official plot synopsis reads, in a future New York City, far different from the one we know today, a lone surviving turtle goes on a seemingly hopeless mission to obtain justice for his fallen family and friends. This is easily shaping up to be one of the most exciting turtle stories ever. Mostly because they still haven't told us which of the turtles actually survived. And from the few panels that I've had the privilege of previewing, it doesn't seem like they're really open to telling us right out the gate either. Seems like that's going to be part of the mystery for the story. Now, for me personally, after reading those few panels, I have a shocking suspicion that this is going to be the angriest portrayal of Michelangelo we have ever seen. His sarcasm may turn a little more dark and twisted now that his psyche's broken due to losing his brothers. Now, that's just my thoughts, but I mean, I can't imagine why they wouldn't use one of the fan favorites, like legitimate fan favorites, the guy orders pizza like the rest of us do, and turn his whole world upside down to tell an epic story. Who do you think is this lone surviving turtle? Sound off in the comments below. In other superhero news, it seems that 2 of my favorite underrated actors are teaming up to bring us a superhero story like no other. You see, Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are starring in a Netflix original that poses the question, would you want superhero powers with side effects? Project Power is set in a world where a special drug empowers humans with superhuman abilities for 5 minutes at the risk of some terrifying side effects. Jamie Foxx plays the father of a daughter who's gone missing, so he's on a Taken-style rescue mission, and along the way he meets some unexpected partners and allies. One of those being Joseph Gordon-Levitt, playing the role of a detective who is getting more and more involved in Fox's crazy, ambitious mission. Now, Netflix's Project Power has been in development for a few years now and is finally set to release this summer on August 14th. You can check out the trailer and let us know what you think. But personally, I'm having a little bit of issue trying to decide if I'd be willing to take a pill for superpowers for 5 minutes that may give me some side effects I'm not very sure I'd want. But then again, that's how I feel about most modern medicine, hence I live the herbal life. Hey! In other Netflix news, they just announced they'll be working with Stan Sakai and Gaumont in order to produce an animated series based on Stan's award-winning comic Usagi Yojimbo. The animated action comedy is called Samurai Rabbit: The Usagi Chronicles and will act as a sequel to the original comics, following the young rabbit samurai Yuichi, descendant of Miyamoto Usagi, as he works to become a true samurai. James Wan has been tapped to produce, along with some help from other notable friends from Gaumont and Dark Horse Entertainment. To prep for the series, I recommend you read through a few of the classic comics, which I love. Mostly because I love anything set in the Edo or feudal Japan era. Now, does this sound like something you would watch? Something about a samurai rabbit? Does that sound exciting? Let us know in the comments below. Also, I just want to point out that I would love to see a Bugs Bunny cameo. I mean, come on, Warner Bros. You guys can make it happen. To say that superhero movies wouldn't be what they are without the early 2000 X-Men's trilogy is not really that crazy of a concept. You see, if you really think about it, before that, sure, we had a couple Batman and Superman movies, but they were really aimed to be campy and really directed towards the younger generation. Those first 3 X-Men movies really set the bar for what it meant to create movies based on comics for a more mature adult audience. And that has truly defined what comic book movies look like now. I mean, we wouldn't have things like Deadpool, Wolverine, or even the Avengers if it weren't for a movie like X-Men opening the doorway. See, even the Spider-Man movies still had a little bit of a cartoon, kids feeling undertone to them. The X-Men movies did away with most of that, for better or worse. Now, this week we celebrated the 20-year anniversary since those films came out, so I thought it'd be fun to go through a couple of my favorite moments in the first 3 movies, in no particular order, of course. Now, right out the gate, I want to talk about Nightcrawler's appearance in the White House at the opening of X2. For me, Nightcrawler is one of the greatest characters ever. He's a blast to read, and this scene just kind of showed how much Fox was really willing to invest in these movies at the time. They threw the budget way up from the first X-Men with all the special effects just shown in this first scene. You already knew you were in for a great ride. So seeing him acrobatically flip and teleport all around the White House as all the politicians involved looked and remained confused and in fear was just magically powerful. It was powerful stuff. Not quite as powerful as one of my other favorite scenes, which was, well, anytime Magneto and Professor X were playing chess. See, the dynamic between Professor X and Magneto, Patrick Stewart and Ian Keller, was really something like nothing before. It really truly showed you the dynamic between 2 friends who were fighting for the same cause, just fighting in different ways, and both believing they were 100% right. You could never really tell someone they're wrong with how they feel. So watching the 2 of these guys go at it non-stop was super interesting. But seeing those docile moments where you could be reminded that they were truly friends by watching them play chess was just incredible. It was just incredible. And then the contrast of the shots made it even more powerful. Magneto in an all-white jumpsuit, Professor X in an all-black business suit. Magneto with a gorgeous gray set of hair, Professor X completely bald. Magneto able to stand Professor X in a wheelchair. It was such an amazing level of contrast and balance that you couldn't expect from any comic book movie before that. And that's what made those special. And of course, Ian Keller didn't stop there. One of my all-time favorite movie scenes in general is when he removes the blood, or rather the iron, in the blood of one of the guards in order to help him escape the plastic prison. See, Mystique arrives, things go crazy, and Magneto shows us how powerful he truly can be by taking the iron out of the blood in a human being to create pellets that help him escape the plastic prison. That's just one moment that really shows the power behind Magneto's magnetic ability that people, in my opinion, just like with Aquaman, really don't understand the true value of what he's capable of doing. They just assume bending metal, but they don't take into consideration the amount of metal inside of your body. Similar with Aquaman, if we were to really take Aquaman to his darkest points, if he were a villain, we'd be aware that your body is mostly water, and he controls water. I think you see what I'm getting at. Now on the topic of water, or rather the opposite of water, fire. One more performance from Ian Keller, and I don't want to sound like an Ian Keller fanboy, but it was just such a great moment, is when he meets Pyro, and he explains to Pyro that working with Professor X is an option, but he really presents the argument that going about it his way is the better way. And it's not just in the things he says, it's the entire power dynamic. The way he gives the lighter back to Pyro right when he's finished explaining to him how important this is, the way he plays with the lighter as he discusses all of his ideas and beliefs. If you haven't seen these movies in a while, please do so. You know, X-Men 1, X2, and yes, even The Last Stand, for as mediocre as it truly was, were really the movies that set the pillar and created what we know now as the superhero movie world. And if you don't believe it, really look into the fact that Joss Whedon wrote one of arguably the worst lines in all of cinema. Remember what happens to a toad when it gets hit by lightning? Same thing that happens to everyone else. That was supposed to be a joke. It was awful. God, it was awful. But he evolved to being the mastermind behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it today. And now, because of the recent Fox merger, he has taken back the X-Men, and we get a chance to see what he'll do with them this time around. The more mature, more capable, more powerful Joe Sweden powering the X-Men. I cannot wait. Now, all this talk of Marvel's X-Men and Marvel superheroes has got me super excited, and the good news is I don't have to wait very much longer to get a chance to play as some of these cool characters, because Marvel's Avengers, which I've spoken about a few times on the show, will be having various open betas throughout the month of August. Now, here are some of the exact dates. August 7th will be for PS4 owners who have pre-ordered the game. August 14th will open the gates for Xbox and PC owners who have pre-ordered the game, while allowing all PS4 owners to play. And August 21st, the open beta will be accessible to anyone who plays video games on any of those three platforms. So I cannot wait. I'm super, super excited for a chance to finally get to play Marvel's Avengers. So that's a wrap. Looking forward to playing Marvel's Avengers as soon as I get the chance to. Thank you for tuning into the Hero Network, where everyone's a hero. Make sure to tell a friend to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us at Hero Network TV. I'm your host Vega. You can follow me at WhatUpVega, or you can join me on PS4 in the Marvel's Avengers beta, by adding me on PSN at SuperVega with 2 O's. That's SOOPERVEGA. Look forward to seeing you guys online. Peace.